Yes, beta. Chapter 7, the necklace. As I was telling you, that this chapter revolves around a middle class woman, Matilda, who often dreams of a lavish life but does not live within her means because she belongs to a poor family of clerks. And she's proud of her beauty and youth, dreams of a royal life because she was very beautiful, very pretty lady, and she thought that she has been sent in this world to enjoy all the delicacies and the royal life on this earth. But she could not because she took birth in the family of clerks. And ironically, what happens? She has to marry a petty clerk also. That means she got married in the family of the clerks also. So she's unable to reconcile to her poverty and keeps on dreaming of a palace like house, exquisite dresses, expensive jewelry, the loss of the diamond necklace, which she borrows from her rich friend, ruins her life and her husband's life, and the couple has to live in extreme poverty for 10 long years. What happens in the story? Because she is a very pretty lady and she is very ambitious and desires, have dreams to lead a very happy and luxurious and high standard life, but she could not enjoy that because of the means, because of the destiny, because she took birth in the family of clerks, she was married to a petty clerk. But somehow she got a chance to go in the party of the rich class people, and for that she borrowed a necklace from her friend, which she somehow loses. And that ruined their life because they had to collect the money to return that necklace, and for that money was collected in 10 long years. They had to work hard, they had to do overwork, both of them, the husband and wife, and then they collected the money to pay back for that necklace. So what the writer wants to tell us in this story is that one should not aspire for more than what one has, कि जो आपके पास है आपको उसी से satisfied होना चाहिए, उससे ज़्यादा और जो है aspirations जो है हमारी नहीं होनी चाहिए. What the writer wants to tell to the readers, that one should not aspire for more than what one has. Too much aspirations may ruin the life. The same happened in the case of Matilda Loisel in this story. And if we have too many desires, too many aspirations, as some ladies have, they are fond of wearing jewelry, and if they don't have, they borrow from others. And sometimes this type of mishappening can happen, and that can ruin their life, as we see in the character of this lady, Madam Mrs. Matilda Loisel. So, if we read the story, you will come to know one very surprising thing at the end of the story, when they thought that the necklace was of real diamonds. So, they collected the money accordingly. They discussed with some jeweler and collected the money, and they purchased the same type of diamond necklace to return to the person from whom they have borrowed. But at the end, they got the realization that the necklace was a fake one. It was not the real one, and it was not having that much cost which they expected. And they bought the real diamond necklace and gave it back to her friend from whom they have borrowed. So they spent their 10 years in that hard work, overwork, just to collect that money, and it ruined their young age period, the beauty of both of them, and the time which they had to spend happily and enjoying, that was wasted in working hard and collecting that money. That means that one night which she enjoyed cost them 10 years. Okay, now I'll read the story and you'll come to know the details. See at the lines of the chapter, the Matilda is invited to a grand party. She has a beautiful dress but no jewelry. She borrows a necklace from a friend and loses it. What happens then? क्या होता है कि उसको एक ग्रैंड पार्टी में इनविटेशन मिल जाता है उसके हस्बैंड को, और वो चाहता है कि चलो उसकी वाइफ बहुत एम्बिशियस है एंड शी शुड एंजॉय द पार्टी. But the problem was she arranged the dress, but she did not have jewelry. She borrows a necklace from her friend to attend that party, and somehow she loses it. What happens? That you will read in the story. Now look at the lines. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. कि वो बहुत सुंदर बहुत प्रेटी लेडी थी और वो क्या सोचा करती थी कि वो इस लाइफ में दुनिया पर सिर्फ एंजॉय करने के लिए डेलीकेसीज के लिए आई है बिकॉज she was proud of her beauty. But with the error of destiny, she took birth in the family of clerks and she expected no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished, which she desires. वो चाहती क्या थी कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस हो, लोगों के बीच में उसकी प्रेज हो, लोग उसको पसंद करें. बट ड्यू टू no sources in the family, no support in the family financially, she expected no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known. कोई ऐसा उसके पास साधन नहीं था कि कोई उसकी उम्मीद होती या कोई बहुत ज़्यादा वो फेमस हो जाती या लोग उसको पसंद करते. एंड मैरिड बाय अ मैन आइदर रिच और डिस्टिंग्विश्ड, या किसी अमीर आदमी से या किसी डिस्टिंग्विश्ड पर्सनैलिटी से वो कोई उसकी मैरिज हो जाती. She allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. Underline who was the person with whom she got married. A petty clerk in the office of the Board of Examination. एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड में एक छोटा सा क्लर्क था जिसके साथ की उसकी मैरिज हो गई बिकॉज शी बिलोंग टू एन एवरेज फैमिली एंड शी कुड नॉट गेट अ वेरी रिच एंड डिस्टिंग्विश्ड पर्सन. सो शी अलाउड हर सेल्फ. शी वॉज सिंपल बट शी वॉज अनहैप्पी. She lived a simple life, but she was unhappy because she wanted to have high standard life. Due to her beauty, she thought that she could live a very luxurious and rich and royal life, which she could not enjoy. That's why she was always unhappy. She dreams a lot, but she could not fulfill those dreams. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She suffered incessantly, means continuously. She suffered from this feeling, and she was always sad because she felt that she was born in this world for all delicacies and luxuries. She could enjoy, she should enjoy all these things. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, and the worn chairs, and she was always unhappy because she suffered from the poverty of her apartment, that place of living, the house, and the shabby walls and the worn chair. घर की दीवारें जो है वो सुंदर नहीं है, उसके ऊपर कोई अच्छा वॉल पेपर नहीं है, worn chairs या फर्नीचर उसका अच्छा नहीं है. All these things tortured and angered her. So she was always tortured and unhappy and sad and got angry with all these things that she could not have all these luxuries or the things of high standard. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie! I know nothing better than that." She would think of elegant dinners of shining silver. She thought of the exquisite food served in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, and she loved only those things. See the comparison in the nature of Matilda Loisel and her husband. They both are different, of different type of nature. When they sat for the dinner opposite to each other and they uncovered the dishes or the things which were kept on the table, a husband used to enjoy all these things and used to say that I know nothing better than that, कि इससे अच्छा कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. Whereas she thought the of elegant dinners of shining silvers, कि shining silver के चमकते हुए बर्तन हों जिसमें अच्छी अच्छी डिशेस रखी हों और different type of marvelous food जो है उसको सर्व किया जाए. Then she had neither frocks and not jewels. Frocks here refers to the dresses कि उसके पास ना कोई अच्छी dresses थी ना jewelry थी, and she loved only those things and she was passionate for all these things. She was fond of having new dresses, good dresses, and jewelry. So she was always unhappy and sad, whereas her husband was satisfied and she was thinking that he was getting everything good in life. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. She had a friend who was very rich, and she was the schoolmate at the convent. And she was very rich lady, and whenever she visited her home, she suffered so much when she returned home because that lady was rich and might be having good standard, good furniture, good silverwares, अच्छी उसके पास क्रॉकरी होगी. तो जब भी ये वापस आती तो ये बहुत ज़्यादा अपने आप में डिस्पेयर और disappointed, sad feel करती है, and she kept on weeping for the whole days. One evening, her husband returned elated, bearing in his hand a large envelope. और एक दिन उसके हस्बैंड जो है elated means बहुत खुशी खुशी घर में एंटर करते हैं, और he was having a large envelope, एक बड़ा सा लिफाफा पकड़ा हुआ है उसने हाथ में, and he was very happy. Here he said, here is something for you. और आकर उसको क्या बताते हैं कि I have brought something for you, because he was feeling that she might be feeling happy after looking at this envelope. What was in that envelope? She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words. उसमें से एक printed card निकालता है जिसके ऊपर के ये words लिखे हुए हैं. Note down these words. The Minister of Public Instruction and Madam George Rampan asked the honor of Ma'am Loisel's company. Monday evening, January 18, at the minister's residence. From reading this, we understand that it is an invitation card by the Minister of Public Instruction and Madam George Rampon. They are going to organize a party, and in which they have asked Madam Loisel and Mr. Loisel to come. So they have been invited to attend this party, and the party was on Monday evening, January 18, at Minister's residence. Please note down the day and date, which can be converted into objective questions. So in this way, he got this invitation card, and he was very happy that his wife would be delighted to know this, that she got the opportunity to attend a party of the rich class people, of high class people, and she would meet all of them, the rich people, and she would feel happy. Instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that?" लेकिन हुआ क्या, उसके अपोजिट. इंस्टेड ऑफ बीइंग डिलाइटेड, खुश होने की बजाय उसने क्या किया, जो कि जैसे कि उसके हस्बैंड ने सोचा था, होप किया था, शी थ्रू द इनविटेशन विद हेट्रेड ऑन द टेबल, मर्मरिंग, व्हाट डू यू सपोज आई वांट विद दैट. और अपने हस्बैंड को पूछती है, आप क्या सोचते हो कि मैं क्या करूं इस कार्ड को, व्हाट शुड आई डू दिस इनविटेशन. बट माय डियर, आई थॉट इट वुड मेक यू हैप्पी. You never go out, and this is an occasion, and a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official word there. He tries to make her understand. Says, I thought that it would make you happy because you never go out, and it is a good occasion for you to go out and enjoy. Everyone wishes to have this invitation, but this invitation is given to the selected. It is very selected. It is very selected people who had been invited to this party. Not many are given to the employees. That means all the employees are not given the invitation. You will see the whole official word there. And he felt that she would feel happy when she would meet the official word, all the rich class, high standard people there. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?" What was the real problem? She got irritated and felt very unhappy and declared impatiently, कि what do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that? कि आप क्या सोचते हो कि मैं ऐसी पार्टी में जाऊंगी तो मैं क्या पहन कर जाऊंगी. The problem was that she told that she did not have any good dress. He had not thought of that. He stammered, "Why the dress you wear when we go to the theater? It seems very pretty to me." तो उसके हस्बैंड इसको आइडिया देते हैं कि आपके पास एक अच्छी सी ड्रेस है, जब हम थिएटर गए थे तो यू वोर दैट, दैट इज गुड ड्रेस. He was silent, stupefied in dismay. ना ही हैड नॉट थॉट अबाउट दिस प्रॉब्लम की ऐसी प्रॉब्लम भी क्रिएट हो सकती है. तो एकदम चुपचाप और हैरान परेशान सा खड़ा रहता है उदास होकर, एट द साइट ऑफ हिज वाइफ वीपिंग बिकॉज शी हैड स्टार्टेड crying, weeping. He stammered, "What is the matter? What is the matter?" By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. Nothing. अपने आप को कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करती है और आंसुओं को अपने पोंछते हुए she told, "Nothing, only I have no dress, and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I." तो क्या सुजेस्ट करती है, कहती मेरे पास कोई ड्रेस नहीं है इसलिए मैं तो इस पार्टी पे नहीं जा सकती. सो इट इज बेटर टू गिव दिस कार्ड टू सम कोलीग हुज वाइफ इज बेटर फिटेड आउट देन आई, कि मेरे से ज्यादा जिसके पास अच्छे प्रोविजंस हैं, यू कैन गिव दिस कार्ड टू सम ऑफ योर कोलीग्स. He was grieved but answered, बड़ा परेशान हो जाता है, but he answered. He says, "Let's see, Matilda, how much would a suitable costume cost?" समथिंग दैट वुड सर्व फॉर अदर ओकेजन्स, समथिंग वेरी सिंपल। तो उसको समझाने की कोशिश करता है, कहता कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं मेटिल्डा, देखो हम एक नया ड्रेस खरीद लेते हैं, आप मुझे बताओ कि हाउ मच दैट कॉस्ट्यूम वुड कॉस्ट, कि कुछ ऐसा हो जो कि हमारे बाकी ओकेजन्स में भी फिर काम आता रहेगा। वेरी सिंपल थिंग्स, he was ready to purchase a new dress for the lady. She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with it an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. And now she thought for a seconds, कुछ मिनट सेकंड्स के लिए सोचना शुरू कर देती है ताकि वो कुछ ऐसा अमाउंट बताए कि उसके जो हस्बैंड हैं जो कि बहुत इकोनॉमिकल क्लर्क हैं, ही शुड नॉट गेट फ्राइटेंड एंड ही शुड नॉट इमीडिएटली रिफ्यूज फॉर दैट। कुछ नॉमिनल सा वो अमाउंट जो है वो सोचना शुरू कर देती है कि कितना अमाउंट बताए, कितने में उसकी ड्रेस आ जाएगी, ताकि वो एकदम से उसको रिफ्यूज ना करे। फाइनली शी सेड इन अ हेजिटेटिंग वॉइस, I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it. और आखिरकार सोचकर बड़े हेजिटेटिंग वे में बताती है कि कहीं वो उसको मना ना कर दे या कुछ कहे ना आगे से। तो इट इज आई कांट टेल एग्जैक्टली, बट आई फील दैट 400 फ्रैंक्स ought to cover it, कि 400 फ्रैंक्स में अच्छी ड्रेस आ जाएगी। नोट डाउन द अमाउंट which she told to her husband. He turned a little pale, for he had saved just this sum to buy a gun that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. और इतना ही अमाउंट उसने ऑलमोस्ट अपने लिए गन खरीदने के लिए बचाया हुआ था, बिकॉज ही वॉज फॉन्ड ऑफ हंटिंग एंड हिज फ्रेंड्स यूज टू गो on Sundays for the hunting of the larks, and he also wanted to join them in the next summer so that he could enjoy that hunting, and he had saved that much amount. Nevertheless, he answered, very well, I'll give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress. चलो फिर भी वो मान जाता है, and he sacrificed his own desire and told her that he will give him that money, 400 francs, and she should purchase a pretty dress, and they would go to the party. He tried to find out the solution. The day of the ball approached, and मैम लॉयजल seemed sad. अब पार्टी का दिन जो था वो पास आता जा रहा था, approach means coming nearer, and Madam Loisel still was very sad, disturbed, anxious. Nevertheless, her dress was nearly ready, almost उसकी ड्रेस तो अब तैयार थी. Her husband said to her one evening, what is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for 2 or 3 days. कहता मैं देख रहा हूँ कि 2-3 दिन से तुम बहुत अजीब से behave कर रही हो. What is the problem now? Almost your dress is ready. And she responded, I'm vexed not to have a jewel, nothing to adorn myself with. I shall have such a poverty stricken look. I would prefer not to go to this party. अब प्रॉब्लम और नहीं खड़ी हो गई, क्या जवाब देती है, कहती है आई एम वेरी मच सैड, परप्लेक्स्ड, कंफ्यूज्ड हूँ कि मेरे पास कोई ज्वेलरी तो है नहीं, नथिंग टू एडोन माई सेल्फ मीन्स अपने आप को डेकोरेट करने के लिए मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है। आई शैल हैव सच ए पॉवर्टी स्ट्रिकन लुक, और मैं तो वहाँ गरीबी की मूर्ति नजर आऊंगी। पॉवर्टी स्ट्रिकन मीन्स देखने में गरीब लगूंगी मैं। आई वुड प्रेफर नॉट टू गो टू दिस पार्टी, इसलिए बेटर होगा कि मैं इस पार्टी में ना जाऊं। He replied, you can wear some natural flowers. In this season, they look very chic. और हस्बैंड उसके क्या सुजेस्ट करते हैं, दैट शी शुड वियर नेचुरल फ्लावर्स। वो भी कहता आजकल फैशन में है और बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं पहने हुए। शी वॉज नॉट कन्विंस्ड. No, she replied, there is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby ear in the midst of the rich woman. कहती नहीं नहीं, वो बिल्कुल मानती नहीं इस चीज के लिए, कहती ये जरूरी अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, और इससे बेटर है कि मैं पार्टी में ना जाऊं, क्योंकि उन अमीर औरतों के बीच में, इन द मिडस्ट ऑफ द रिच वुमेन, कि उन सारी अमीर औरतों के बीच में मैं तो कहती बहुत गंदी लगूंगी। इट इज एंड इट इज वेरी ह्यूमिलिएटिंग, इंसल्टिंग होगा। देयर इज नथिंग मोर ह्यूमिलिएटिंग, इससे ज्यादा इंसल्ट कहती नहीं हो सकती कि उनके बीच में मैं बहुत शैबी सी नजर आऊंगी। देन हर हस्बैंड क्राइड आउट, हाउ स्टूपिड वी आर, go and find your friend मैम फॉरेस्टियर and ask her to lend you her jewels। और उसके हस्बैंड एकदम खुशी से चलाते हैं, कहते हैं हम कितने मूर्ख हैं, हमें दिमाग में ही नहीं आया कि यू हैव अ वेरी गुड फ्रेंड मैम फॉरेस्टियर, गो एंड आस्क हर टू लेंड यू द जूल्स। कहते उसके पास जाओ और उससे ज्वेलरी उधार ले लो। शी uttered a cry of joy. It's true, she said. I had not thought of that. She also felt very happy and shouted, says, it is very true. I did not think about it. The next day she took herself, this is the same friend, to whom she did not like to visit, who was rich one, and she felt very sad whenever she returned after visiting her house. Now they thought to go to that friend and borrow uh, a necklace or some jewelry from her. The next day, she took herself to her friend's house and related her story of distress. अगले दिन अपनी फ्रेंड के पास चले जाती है और उसको अपनी सारी स्टोरी बताती है. मैम फॉरेस्टियर went to her closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it, and said, "Choose, my dear." और उसकी फ्रेंड अच्छी थी नेचर वाइज, उस अपने कबर्ड के पास जाती है, क्लोजेट के पास, और उसमें से ज्वेलरी केस निकालती है, उसके सामने खोल कर रख देती है और उसको कहती है चूज कर लो. She saw at first some bracelets, then a collar of pearls, then a Venetian cross of gold and jewels of admirable workmanship. She tried the jewels before the glass, hesitated, but could neither decide to take them nor leave them. Then she asked, "Have you nothing more?" अब वो रिच थी, उसकी फ्रेंड अच्छी थी, उसके पास काफी ज्वेलरी थी. उसने पूरा का पूरा बॉक्स उसके आगे रख दिया और वो कभी ब्रेसलेट्स देख रही है, कभी वो पर्ल्स के कॉलर देख रही है, कभी गोल्ड का बना वेनेशियन क्रॉस, और कभी मतलब वर्कमैनशिप बहुत एडमायरेबल, बहुत प्रेज़वर्दी अच्छी उसके पास ज्वेलरी थी, वो सारी देख रही है और उसको ट्राई करके देख रही है ग्लास के अंदर मिरर के आगे खड़े होकर. देन शी हेजिटेटेड, और ना तो वो उस ज्वेलरी को छोड़ सकती है, ना उसका मन कर रहा है कि वो डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रही उसमें से, बिकॉज़ टू मेनी थिंग्स वर देयर. देन शी आस्क्ड, "हैव यू नथिंग मोर?" और अभी उससे और पूछती है कि तेरे पास तो और है कुछ? "व्हाई, यस, लुक फॉर योरसेल्फ." "आई डोंट नो, व्हाट विल यू प्लीज यू?" कहती, हाँ हाँ मेरे पास और है, आप देखो. आप मुझे ये तो बताओ कि आपको कैसी चाहिए, मतलब कैसा आपका पसंद करोगे. टेल मी योर चॉइस. सडनली शी डिस्कवर्ड इन अ ब्लैक सैटिन बॉक्स अ सुपर्ब नेकलेस ऑफ डायमंड्स. और अचानक उसकी नजर पड़ती है कि ब्लैक सैटिन का बॉक्स था जिसके अंदर एक बहुत परफेक्ट सुपर्ब, बहुत सुंदर डायमंड का नेकलेस पड़ा हुआ था. हर हैंड्स ट्रेम्बल्ड एज शी टुक इट आउट. जैसे ही उसको उठा रही है तो उसके हाथ कांप रहे हैं, बिकॉज शी फेल्ट दैट मस्ट बी वेरी कॉस्टली. शी प्लेस्ड इट अबाउट हर थ्रोट अगेंस्ट हर ड्रेस एंड वॉज एक्सटेटिक. और उसको अपने गले में लगाकर देखती है मिरर के आगे खड़े होकर और सोचती है अपनी ड्रेस के साथ उसको मैच करते हुए. एंड शी फेल्ट वेरी हैप्पी. एक्सटेटिक मीन्स एक्सट्रीम फीलिंग ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, as if she had got everything. Then she asked in a hesitating voice, full of anxiety, "Could you lend me this? Only this?" और बड़ी एंजाइटी के साथ पूछती है उसको कि पता नहीं वो मना ना कर दे उसको, hesitatingly, कि क्या आप मुझे ये उधार दे सकते हो? "Only this one," she says. "Why, yes, certainly." Says, क्यों नहीं, नोट करो बेटा. All of you please must note down, as in the previous chapter also you have noted in the first flight last chapter the conversation part. Here also, when you have the conversation, the sentences are given to you in the inverted commas, and you understand this is direct speech given to you. Try to link it with your reported speech grammar part also. Therefore, you will convert these sentences into indirect form. You must note down these sentences, and then at the end you must compile these sentences and change them into indirect speech and revise the rules of your reported speech of grammar. So what happened now? She asked about that necklace. She fell upon the neck of her friend, embraced her with passion, then went away with her treasure. As she replied in positive, so she felt very happy and she embraced her friend with passion and went away with that treasure. Treasure means here that necklace which she had taken. The day of the ball arrived. Ma'am Loisel was a great success. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling, full of joy. And the party day came, and she felt very happy that she was a great success. She was looking the prettiest of all in the party, looking very gracious, smiling, very happy. All the men noticed her, asked her name, wanted to be presented. And this was the thing which she wanted to have in her life, that she should be known, she should be praised by all. So all the men in the party noticed her. They asked her name. They all wanted to talk to her. They all wanted to meet her. She danced with enthusiasm and intoxicated with pleasure, thinking of nothing but all this admiration, this victory so complete and sweet to her heart. And she was also very happy, enjoying the party, dancing with enthusiasm, intoxicated with pleasure, जैसे कि खुशी के नशे में घूम रही हो, thinking of nothing but all this admiration. She was not thinking anything, she was only enjoying that party and feeling happy, getting the admiration and the praise of all those people who were in the party. This victory so complete and sweet to her heart, and this was a victory for her which she has achieved, and she was satisfied with this her action, and she felt as if she had got everything what she desired in life, enjoying that one night. She went home towards 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been half asleep in one of the little saloons since midnight with three other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. So, what is shown according to the party, she was enjoying too much, whereas her husband had been half asleep in one of the little saloons since midnight. वो आधी रात से ही सैलून में सोया हुआ था जहाँ पे और तीन जेंटलमैन थे एंड देयर वाइव्स वर आल्सो एंजॉयिंग. They kept on dancing and enjoying till 4 o'clock. He threw around her shoulders the modest wraps they had carried, whose poverty clashed with the elegance of the ball costume. अब उसके पास जो अपने आप को लपेटने के लिए when they will come out of the hall of the party, she was having only the modest wraps कि जो उसके पास average अपने standard के accordingly wraps means something to cover her shoulders, जैसे कोई shawl या कोई straw type था. That was totally in clash with the elegant dress of the party which she was wearing. She wished to hurry away in order not to be noticed by the other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs. और वो क्या चाहती थी कि जल्दी से वहां से बाहर निकल जाए ताकि जो वहां और लेडीज थी जो कि रिच क्लास को बिलोंग करती थी, दे वर वेयरिंग रिच फर्स, और वो उसको नोटिस ना कर ले. लॉयजल डिटेन्ड हर. वेट, सेड ही, आई एम गोइंग टू कॉल अ कैब. लेकिन उसके हस्बैंड को बोल रहे हैं कि आप वेट करो, लेट मी कॉल द कैब. बट शी वुड नॉट लिसन एंड डिसेंडेड द स्टेप्स रैपिडली. वो नहीं सुन रही थी क्योंकि उसको लग रहा था कि बाकी लेडीज भी उसको देखेंगी जब वो अपना पुराना सा या मॉडेस्ट सिंपल सा शॉल पहनेगी या स्ट्रॉल लेगी, तो दैट वुड टेल द ट्रूथ. व्हेन दे वर इन द स्ट्रीट दे फाउंड नो कैरेज. जैसे ही वो बाहर आते हैं उनको कोई गाड़ी नहीं मिलती एंड दे बिगिन टू सीक फॉर वन, हेलिंग द कोचमैन whom they saw at a distance. कोचमैन को दूर से दिखाई देता है जिसको वो कॉल करते हैं. हेलिंग मीन्स कॉलिंग द कोचमैन. They walked along toward the river, hopeless and shivering. और वो सर्दी में चल रहे हैं, hopeless और कांपते हुए. Finally, they found one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. लेकिन अचानक उनको एक पुरानी गाड़ियों में से एक गाड़ी मिल जाती है जो कि पेरिस में नाइटफॉल के टाइम, इवनिंग टाइम, रात के टाइम चलती थी, बिकॉज दे वर नॉट गुड इन कंडीशन and must be having less cost also, fare also. It took them as far as their door and they went wearily up to their apartment. It was all over for her, and on his part he remembered that he would have to be at the office by 10 o'clock. और जैसे ही वो गाड़ी उनको उनके घर तक लेकर जाती है, they went inside wearily, थके हुए घर पहुंचते हैं, और उसके लिए सारा कुछ खत्म हो चुका था जब तक, जबकि उसके हस्बैंड जो थे, ही वॉज रिमेम्बरिंग, वो ये याद कर रहे थे कि उनको सुबह 10 बजे ऑफिस भी जाना है. ही वॉज वरिड अबाउट दैट, वेयर एज शी वॉज थिंकिंग अबाउट हर ब्यूटी एंड द टाइम विच शी हैड स्पेंट enjoying. She removed the wraps from her shoulders before the glass for a final view of herself in her glory. Suddenly she uttered a cry. Her necklace was not around her neck. और एक बार वो क्या सोचती है, फिर से अपने आप को देखने के लिए जैसे ही ग्लास के आगे खड़ी होती है, अपने उस रैप को उतार कर, अपने शॉल को उतार कर के एक बार वो फाइनल व्यू अपनी सुंदरता का, अपनी ग्लोरी का देखे, बिकॉज शी वॉज वेरी हैप्पी इन दैट. And suddenly she uttered a cry because she noticed that the necklace was not around her neck. She had lost the necklace somewhere in the party or somewhere on the way. She could not remember that. So that was a shocking thing for her. And when she noticed that she had lost it, she uttered a cry. We'll finish it here, beta, and continue next part in the next session.